House Republicans are threatening to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of pursuit of audio recordings related to Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview with Biden. One America's chief White House correspondent Monica Page has more.
President Biden reportedly suffered multiple mental lapses during his interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur during the classified documents investigation. But specific materials related to this closed-door testimony, like audio recordings, are still being held by the Justice Department. Now, Congressman James Comer and Jim Jordan are threatening to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt if he does not fully comply with the subpoenas for the requested materials. And for more on this, I want to bring in attorney Kevin Fulton. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. All of the requested materials need to be turned over by April 8th, or else the Oversight Committee will take further action and hold Merrick Garland in contempt. So what are the implications of Merrick Garland holding on to this content and not turning it over?
Well, there's three things that Congress can do. They can have contempt hearings, but the problem with the contempt hearings is, guess who they have to refer it to if they find him in contempt? They refer it to the Department of Justice to prosecute the case. So that's likely not going to go very far. They can refer it to him, but they're not going to prosecute themselves. The other thing they can do is called a civil contempt. They can file that in district court. The problem with that is the last time that was done was against Obama when they wouldn't turn over records for weapons. And it took 7 years to prosecute for them to try to get those documents. And the third thing is what's called an inherent contempt charge. They can actually hold a hearing and hold the person in contempt right there in Congress and then have the person imprisoned. But that person can only stay in prison during the length of that congressional session. And it hasn't been done since the 30s. So that's likely not going to happen. So basically, they can file the contempt, but I don't see it going very far.
Additionally, the Oversight Committee has subpoenaed Biden's ghostwriter, Mark Zwanitzer, who reportedly deleted audio files on his laptop pertaining to the classified materials. So how could these audio filings that Merrick Garland is withholding be different than the ones that Zwanitzer deleted? And does one hold maybe more weight than the other?
Well, the surprising thing is I'm starting to think to myself, what do you have to do to get arrested? You have a ghostwriter who knew that information was going to be requested by a special counsel and deletes all of it. Hur does not come back with any suggestion of prosecution. You have a president who admitted during the interview with the special prosecutor that he has information, classified documents at home, and he shared those with his ghostwriter, and no prosecution. Now, the thing that's the difference between those two recordings is the ghostwriter recordings, they say, are gone. I thought you could always recover a lot of that stuff when you have, sort of the mechanisms in place for the FBI and DOJ, but they're saying they can't recover it, which is suspicious. But you also then have recordings from the special prosecutor, and that's what they want. If the Biden administration says the special prosecutor is saying things showing that he's maybe old and not remembering, shouldn't they want to release that information to Congress so they can make a determination of whether there was bias in that report? And the second thing is that Congress has oversight. They need to see whether or not the special prosecutor made any special favors to the Biden White House when they did those investigations. The only way they can fulfill their duties as special investigators of the special prosecutor is to actually hear the interview and see how the investigation was conducted, to see whether or not there was any type of favors given to the Biden White House.
And Kevin, before we go, could these audio recordings be potentially more damaging than the written transcripts that have previously been released in that report?
I think it would be tremendously damaging, which is why they don't want to release it. It's one thing to read a person not saying they don't remember or they don't understand something, but it's another to see the president of the United States say over and over that they can't remember basic information about something as important as to where he placed classified documents and who he told information to regarding those classified documents.
All right, we're definitely going to keep a close eye on this. It'd be very interesting to hear and see those recordings. Attorney Kevin Fulton, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.